You're entering a dimension of sight and sound and of body. The signpost ahead says, the plagiarism zone. Now, as we cross the final threshold and the signpost has said the plagiarism zone, enter our two subjects. Dalesum the Devil, who's working on some paragraphs for a Mr. V, and Frank the Angel, his conscience, trying to sway him to a better way. Dalesum, what are you up to?
I'm getting ready to do some writing, see? And it's a paragraph for Mr. V.
I sometimes have trouble with that, Dalesum, because I have a lot of good ideas, but I'm not sure my ideas are coming from places that I already read or saw or something. I think this is called plagiarism.
I've never heard of plagiarism, see? I don't know. Maybe we can have a definition, Mr. V. I don't think I do any of that. I go into the internet and I do something really magical called copy and paste, and then I just turn it in as my own work. Yeah. Very quick.
Dalesum, even though you're using technology, that is plagiarism. You didn't write one word of that.
Yeah, come on, goody two-shoes. I'm going to put up my last paragraph, which, I wrote. I wrote that. Yeah. Let's have a look.
You didn't write that. I've seen how you hand stuff in. It's usually a lot of very simple words and sentences that don't kind of belong together. This is professionally written, Dalesum. There's no way you wrote this.
Look here, Mr. Wings. I copy and pasted it, and I put my name on it. Von Volte will never know. He'll never know. Oh, but wait. The rest of my writing does really not look like this. What can I do?
Well, let's get back to that paragraph later. But right now, let's make a distinction as to what is your information, what is someone else's information or thoughts, and what are things everyone else knows. That's called common knowledge. And copying that or using that is not plagiarism.
Say, Frank, that's a good start. Yeah. I got a lot of common knowledge. Wait a minute. Can you tell me what common knowledge is, Mr. V?
Okay, Dalesum, you give it a try. Now, think of something that everybody knows and that are in your own words. I think you can do it.
Okay. Here's my original line, and I think it's common knowledge. For hundreds of generations, the Jedi were the guardians of the old Republic, before the Dark Times, before the Empire. Oh, wait a minute. That's plagiarism. I didn't say that.
I know. Well, glad that you've admitted it. It is hard to break old habits, but you can do it, Dalesum. It's well within your power.
All right, I fess up, see? It was George Lucas that said that. It was one of my favorite quotes. And I'd like to use it, but now I know how. I'm going to put quotation marks around it, and I'm going to identify the author. Yeah, that makes sense. But wait a second. What is this thing I hear called paraphrasing?
Well, with paraphrasing, you have to be very careful. Paraphrasing is not really plagiarism, but it can be. If you are too close to the language and thoughts of the author, you are plagiarizing, even though you have slightly changed the words. Be very careful when paraphrasing.
Okay, I get it, see? If it's the author's idea, doesn't matter who said it or how I restate it, it still needs to be identified as somebody else's work. How about an example, Mr. V? Ah, I get it, see? The paraphrase is using von Voltai's words, but I'm making them a little bit more simple. However, the idea is still von Voltai's, so I have to identify it. Now I'm getting the hang of this. Yeah. Very good, Dalesome. I think you are getting the hang of it. Now, let's revisit that first paragraph. And be honest, tell me who wrote it, and we'll make the adjustments. Let's do that into text. Ah, I like what you've done here. Yeah. You've put quotations around the quote, and you put the author's name and when they published that work. Very good. I can do this, see? Yeah, I think I can do this. Yes, now, once you use a quote, Dalesome, you can always comment on the information. And commenting on information is not plagiarism. If you look at your paragraph, you could talk more about the Toronto Maple Leafs, about knowledge that you know, or comment on the information itself. That's fair game. Excellent, Frank. I will, of course, continue to use the internet, copy and paste, but I'm going to do it right, see? I'm going to do it right. I'm going to put quotation marks and mention the author. And I'm going to comment on things. Yeah. Where's your grammar book now? See? Dalesome, you're never quite finished with grammar, but you are understanding paraphrasing and plagiarism. Speaking of the internet, let's ask Mr. V how he would write down a source if he got it from a website. And I'm going to ask Mr. V to do this in text, okay? Wait a minute, Mr. V. I'm a copy and paster from a long time ago, but I gotta tell you, sometimes all this information isn't there. What do I do with that? Don't want to be accused of plagiarism anymore. Oh, Mr. V, I always want to do the right thing, and I totally understand plagiarism and paraphrasing. However, I noticed that you wrote down the name of the author and the date published, but where do I get the rest of the information? Delson, welcome to this dimension of sight and sound. Hang on a minute, Mr. V. Something funny's going on here, and I think it might have to do with you. You're using a show that everybody kind of knows as part of your own video. How is that not plagiarism? Dilson, everyone knows when they're looking at this that this is a version of The Twilight Zone. And when Mr. Von Volte is using it for entertainment purposes, it's called an homage. It's a salute to a classic TV show to increase learning in others. Wait a minute. How did the voice of the narrator change? Where are you now, Mr. V? I'm getting a little confused here. but I do understand the idea and the concept of homage. Well, Daleson, I'm even using your voice, or Frank the Angel's voice, or Mr. Von Volte's voice, because you have been in the plagiarism zone.